Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are so excited to have Brandy Palmer joining us here now. And she's the owner of Green Wellness Life. That's greenwellnesslife.com. We're talking about hemp products with an emphasis on CBD and all these health benefits that she's going to go over with the products that she has. So welcome to the show today to start. How are you?
I am well, Jill. Thanks so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Would you mind introducing yourself to our listeners to start?
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So, as you said, my name is Brandy Palmer, and I own Green Wellness Life, which is a store that focuses on hemp products here in West Michigan. I've got a pretty adorable little brick and mortar store, and then we also sell online and we ship all over the US. And I have been working with hemp for, gosh, almost 7 years now, which is kind of a lifetime in this field.
Well, can you explain exactly what hemp is? It gets confusing to people. What's CBD? What's hemp? Could you explain it and break it down for us? I think that's important for our listeners as well.
Oh my gosh, it's alphabet soup for sure. So we refer to hemp and marijuana as cousins, if you will. So similar plants, but not the same. Both of them contain over 100 different compounds, or we call them cannabinoids, which is just the science speak for compounds. They each contain all of those. And we know the most about THC and CBD because those are the two that occur in the most quantity, but they are far from the only compounds that are present in the plant. So THC will make your head fuzzy. And if you're buying a product that is a hemp derivative, then it can't have more than 0.3%. So won't make you fuzzy, not enough, but there can be a teensy bit there because it's naturally occurring in the plant, along with all these other compounds.
Wow. Okay. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Also, before we continue to find out more about your products, I think it's important to find out more about you, the owner behind them. Tell us a little about yourself, where you grew up, and what brought you into this field. Would you mind sharing?
Oh my goodness, those are great questions. I think, like most people, my career path has not been a straight line, but more of zigzags all over the place, right? So I was born in Vermont and I now live in West Michigan. I've been here my adult life. My husband and I have two kiddos who are now 12 and 15 and keep us super busy. But if we rewind maybe 8 or 9 years ago, he and I were both working for manufacturers and we're just crazy busy. So we had two tiny kiddos at home and competing schedules, and it was hard to figure out how things worked and how to balance. And then we had the opportunity to move to Arizona, and I helped a company that I worked for then start a facility in Mexico. And so my husband took 2 years off and stayed home with our kids. And we went, oh, that's how it works. That's how people do this. Okay, then. So we came back to Michigan, and it was his turn. And I started looking for something part time that could let me really be a mom first. And
Got
that was
it.
how I fell into hemp. I answered an ad for a project manager that they were looking for someone to come in to a hemp manufacturing business that was just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
And they were looking for somebody that could write handbooks for them and create work instructions and really set a structure for them to be successful. So I thought, okay, fun summer gig, and then I'll go find a real job. And now, all these years later, here I am because I really started to fall in love with the product. And I was just like probably a lot of your viewers, Jill, at that time, where I didn't know what was legal, what wasn't legal. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
how it would help people. And so, really, it was an education for me. And I was then a younger mom with these kiddos looking for more natural alternatives that would keep them healthy, that would keep our family healthy and active. And hemp started fitting into that. And then I
Wow.
was hearing from people, gosh, this really helped with my XYZ, and this made me feel so much better. And it all kind of lined up with what I was seeing being on the other side of that with that manufacturing company. So yeah, I fell in love with it, and now I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
This is amazing work. Exciting to hear. I love that you're so passionate about what you do. And let's talk about some of the benefits of the products you sell. Tell me how it can help us out there. I've heard about chronic pain. I've heard about digestion. I've heard there's so many benefits to it. Could you explain that to us?
There are tons and tons of benefits, Jill. We do have to be careful because I'm not a doctor and I
Correct.
certainly wouldn't want to make any medical or health claims. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to share experiences that I've witnessed from my customers. Now, I told you that there's more than 100 different compounds, and all of them can have varying benefits, but it's really new science. So, truly, it was the 70s and 80s before people started to look into medical benefits of this plant and not just something that would be fun and get your head fuzzy. So, we're learning new things all the time.
Yep.
We do know the most about THC and CBD. And CBD really is working through something in our system called an endocannabinoid system, that's just trying to keep your body in neutral. So it's
Okay.
trying to attach, in very simple terms, it's trying to attach to your cells, level them out, and just kind of keep that playing field even. Keep your body on an even keel. And
Okay.
neutral can mean different things in different areas of our body, right? Neutral in my brain is
Yep.
different than neutral in my gut or my joints. All of those cells are going to respond differently when they're trying to just go about the course of regulating their different systems in our bodies.
Great. And can we talk specifically, in regards to the specific products that you sell? And again, you say your goal is to find maximum benefits with minimum supplements, right? You said
Mhm.
we're a broken record here, but we say time and time again, start small and work up only if needed. So,
Yeah.
how do you know which cannabinoid is right for you? How do you figure this out? I guess you're here to guide us with that, right?
Yeah, that is what we do. We educate first. You know, the CBD market has really blown up in the last couple of years, and I get a lot of people that are frustrated that
Mm-hmm.
say, "Hey, this doesn't work. This is junk." Well, first of all, there's a lot of junk out there. You
Yep.
know, there's a lot of snake oil salesmen, people that are just putting a label and trying to capture what's been a popular item without really knowing what's in the product. So that's step one, is know what the heck is in the box or bottle that you're buying. And you do that by making sure that the product has a lab result, that it
True.
has been through the process, that a laboratory has looked at it and said, yep, what it says on the label is in that bottle, and anything that you don't want, maybe the THC, for example, has been removed and isn't in that product. You want to make sure that that's step one to knowing that you're buying a quality product.
Got
And
it.
then it really comes down to processing types. There's three main processing levels. Now, on one end of the spectrum, you've got a full spectrum or a whole plant. That means everything that grows in that hemp plant in the ground ends up in your box or bottle. And that can be any kind of product, Jill, that you want to take, whether it's a gummy or a cream or a capsule, any of that. Full spectrum is going to meet everything in the ground, ends up in your bottle. On the other end, they kind of fish through all of that and they extract just the CBD. And we call that an isolate product. So it's an isolated CBD compound, and that's what they plunk into your box or bottle. Then there's a middle ground where they kind of fish through, break everything apart, looking for the THC, but instead of keeping that in, they get rid of it. And
Yep.
that's referred to as a broad spectrum. So that's kind of the third type. Now we like those types for different types of customers coming our way. Full spectrum, whole plant. I like those for people who are living with pain and inflammation, who are trying to find relief. We do well keep that whole plant together. If it's more mood and anxiety and helping just with those mood related things, can do quite well with just the CBD. You don't need the whole plant. But that middle ground exists for people who are looking for those whole plant benefits but want to steer clear of the THC. I think it's kind of a myth that you can't fail a drug test or test positive for THC when you're taking something that is intended to be a CBD product. You can. You have to be taking a higher serving size, but if it's the whole plant and that THC is present, it's a risk. And for some people, that risk is not worth it. It's always risk versus reward, right? So that's what the broad spectrum is there for with that zero THC.
Got it. Wow. Now, if someone, who's just starting out, what type of product would you recommend? Because you have what? Gummies, tinctures, oils. There's so much, and, go to the website, greenwellnesslife.com. Just want to urge everyone to do that. And again, there's amazing products here, but how do you figure out which one's best for you? So there's a guide there. Just got to point that out. And I love the fact, by the way, that there's free shipping on all orders. That's pretty
Yes,
awesome.
that's
Um,
new for us.
and can I ask you, you said you have this CBD lab results
Mhm.
to ensure the best quality. Where is everything being grown? Where do you get it from? And clearly, you obviously do your research and you do your homework and your lab work to make sure everything is perfect.
We try. So
Okay.
I don't manufacture any products, and that's always been intentional, Jill.
Hmm.
When people tend to manufacture, that's the only line that they offer, right? And probably it's the line that they're making the most profit on as well. So they're going to focus there. My intent has always been to not manufacture. That way, I can carry a broad range of products and really help people find what's best for them, because I don't think that there's one size fits all, and there is not any one brand that's going to be the best solution for everybody. So that's why I think we're coming on 30 at this point. So we've got boatloads of different choices, because really, the best CBD is the one that you're going to take every day. So however you're comfortable, that's where we're going to work to find your best fit. Some people, I'm one of those people, don't swallow capsules well. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something I'm comfortable with. I can't do it. So capsules aren't a good solution for me. So I'm going to work on a liquid or a gummy or something else that'll ensure that I'm taking it every day. But everybody is unique in that.
Got
And
it.
we always do say start small. And generally, serving size quoted on bottles are going to talk about that whole bottle. So I'll have somebody call me and they'll say, well, I'm taking 300 milligrams a day. You're not, because you'd probably be real sleepy if you were taking 300 milligrams a day. But that's what's in your whole bottle.
Yeah.
So that can be a little bit confusing for people. There's not any regulation on hemp products, which can be a challenge. I wish that there was more, so that all of our bottles would have to be lab tested, and there wouldn't be the risk of taking something that didn't have what you thought was in it. But more importantly, we'd see consistency across the bar. I'm sorry about that. I am in my store and we've got customers coming in and out. So it gets a
That's
little noisy.
okay. Do what you gotta do, honey. Don't worry. If you need to get up, it's okay. This
No, it's a good
is
problem.
all right, good. Exactly. People are coming in. So education first and foremost is important to you. I know
Yeah.
you educate all of your clients. And can you talk a little bit about you in particular? Do you have any mentors who brought you this far?
Oh my goodness. I think that mentors cycle, and I think that people come about when we need them. So I never intended to own my own business, but I was an only child with a single mom who worked a construction job. I was born when she was 16, so she was definitely one of those statistics that wasn't supposed to be terribly successful, and I watched her bust her butt. So I never doubted that I could do
Hmm.
things, because look at my mom and look at everything that she could accomplish, and the odds that she overcame. So she's always been there for me. And then in that zigzag career path, I've worked for some really incredible women that have shown me how to stay the course even when times get tough, and people are questioning your decisions. Trust your gut and always move forward. But I think that I have truly been lucky to be able to surround myself with strong women, but women of integrity. So it would never be a question here about starting a business. We wouldn't do anything for profit. You go into something that you're passionate about that can help people, and then you take care of your customers, and they'll come back
Great.
as
Let
long
me
as you're
ask
taking
you
care of
about this pandemic and the anxiety, depression,
them.
the
Hmm.
whole array of the universe that's been affected by this pandemic, the increase in uptick in anxiety and depression. Is that something that your products could help with? What would you suggest for someone who's anxious, depressed?
Yeah. I have people that come in and they'll, this can be a very personal product. And so people sometimes will share with us what they're going through and how they're feeling and their struggles. And sometimes I just have to say, okay, sweetie, I can help you and let's find a product here. But some of this is just the world that we live in, right?
Yeah.
There are days that it is, it's hard. It's hard to read the news, and sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. And, we all have to stay positive and keep persevering. But I think we also have to give ourselves some grace and recognize that just because I'm feeling anxious or depressed or I'm struggling, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a weakness in me. It might just mean that it's a reflection of the world. And, we've just got to work and try to keep moving forward and be the positive there, right?
Yeah, it's so true.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And by the way, if you go to the website, greenwellnesslife.com, you also get $5 off when you sign up there for emails, correct?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
saw that.
Absolutely. And
That
our
was,
rewards programs have a great benefit there too. I don't know if you saw that one, Jill, but our rewards,
yeah.
if you're a rewards member,
Yeah, tell
you log
us.
into your account, you get lower pricing, 10% off everything. A lot of these brands I can't put on sale. They won't allow that price to be advertised. So this is the way that I reward my customers for coming back, is that we're able to let them create their own sale and always get that 10% off. And we do quarterly gifts as well. We've got one of those coming up starting next week, actually, where you'll get a gift with any purchase just because you're a rewards member. Those are the little ways. We know that there's so much competition out there, And these are the little ways that we try to take care of people.
Beautiful. And also, I want to ask you, we're talking about, us humans in general, but there's also pets that can
Mhm.
benefit from this. Can you tell us a little bit about pets, what things they suffer with, and what products are good for them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Pets have the same that endocannabinoid system, that ECS that I referenced a few minutes back. Mammals, all mammals have the same one. So we have a ton of products that can help those dogs and cats with things like anxiety and inflammation. You know, those big dogs, as they get a little older, though, they tend to move slower. Those hips and joints hurt.
Yeah.
CBD can get in there and really help them just be more comfortable. Same thing, we just got through the 4th of July and we have lots of dogs and cats, but probably mostly dogs, that don't do well with things like fireworks and with those group gatherings. They cause them anxiety and stress, and CBD can just kind of help them neutralize a little bit and feel a little bit calmer for sure.
Wow. And so dogs, cats, I mean, what about like birds? Like, what animals is it limited to?
You know, I don't know
Or
much
you
about
don't
birds. That's
know?
a great question. I have had, what's the funniest animal I had? I've had people tell me that their ferrets have taken CBD. We have a
Okay.
rescue here that's local that we have given products to, and they work with raccoons and fawns and
Aw.
different wildlife that they use. They use different products for, but it's hard to say who sees the most benefits. When I'm hearing stories from my customers, it's definitely dogs and cats. I know some of my vendors do sell products that are for horses as well, so even those big animals, but that's not something that I carry or that I work with. I'm definitely not an expert there.
Great. And let's talk about, you said there's also on your website whole plant products. What is that? Could you mind explaining the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. So that means that all of those cannabinoids or compounds in that plant in the ground end up in your bottle. Those are the ones we like for people that are living with discomfort. And you can get them in all forms. You can get them in something that you're taking every day, that capsule or that oil or that gummy. We also have patches that can be terrific if you've been out working in the yard and just kind of overdone it, things like that. Personally, I was with my kiddos at Universal in Florida, and I was playing soccer on cement with my daughter, which was a pretty dumb thing to do. And I broke a toe.
Ah,
And, Universal Studios, all you do is walk and stand in lines, right? And here I am with
yep.
my broken toe. So I put a patch on the top of my foot, and I credit that with enabling me to continue my vacation with my family and still be able to function and smile at the end of the day. So those types of things can be a pretty huge help in the
Wow.
moment when you get. So all of those are going to be the whole plant or that full spectrum for the discomfort.
Got it. Interesting. And there's also, you have the different categories. You have the sale categories, brand categories. What else in particular did you want to share and enlighten our listeners with?
You know, I have people ask me regularly, how quick will it get to work for me? And so, in the spirit of educating, I always want to make sure that people understand that our mantra is to start small and work up if you need it. So, we want you to start with a small serving size, but you got to do it every day. This isn't a one and done. It is a be consistent to see those benefits and give it probably a week or so. If you're not feeling any benefit, not feeling what you're looking for at that 1 week mark, that's when you increase your serving size. I usually say double up, give it another week. And then if I have people that are hitting that 2 weeks, they're still not seeing benefits, that's when they need to call me because clearly we should be in a different product. And we've got a 30-day guarantee on everything. We do pretty well when we talk with customers and matching them with a product, but we're not perfect. We don't always get it right. So we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity for a do over. And that is easier if they call me or email me. We can chat about it and I can give them personalized advice. But we do try to give you a lot of information online as well if you're someone that would prefer to make your own choices and do your own research without talking to a real life human, we want to help there too.
Oh my goodness. And do you offer any packages like starter kits for someone trying something, or is it all individualized?
Great question. It is individualized. Around the holidays, we tend to put some kits together and we'll put things together for pet lovers or sport lovers or things like that. But generally, it's kept pretty individual to enable people to find and make their own best fit.
Got it. Wow. Well, this is exciting work that you do, and you're helping so many people. Is there any other path that you want to walk down a journey? Give us some maybe client experiences of how you've helped them and the things they were going through.
You know, um, everybody has good days and bad days, right? I'm no different than that. I have customers that call and they're frustrated because the postal service lost their package, or it was damaged in the mail, or gosh, these gummies didn't help me like I thought that they would. And that's always difficult. We never want to to upset and not please someone, but we work them through. But they're definitely made up for by those customers that call and say, I didn't think that this would help me.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I'm feeling so much better. I'm walking so much more freely. My dog is hopping up on the couch again. This quality of life is greatly improved by what you've done. And we do hear it. I'm in a small community outside of Grand Rapids, and one of the beautiful things of a small community is that people talk. Maybe that's one of
Yep.
the not so beautiful things too, huh? But it's
Yeah.
fun when we do get to hear people will put it out on Facebook what a wonderful experience they had, or gosh, I didn't think this would help, but it did. And here, let me send over three of my neighbors. And that's always what I tell people is, gosh, if it's helping you, send more people my way. That's the only way I can grow my small business. We are now only a 2-woman operation, so there's literally just 2 of us that are touching every product, shipping every order out, or greeting every person that walks into our store. So it is as personal as we can make it, and we will take care of people absolutely to the best of our ability
And
every
do
time.
you work with parents that are buying these products for their children? I mean, there's a lot of children out there. My nephew in particular who has ADHD, and they recently just tried CBD oil. They're just started like 2 weeks ago to try with a doctor. They tried different medications. Again, I know you're not a doctor, but are parents using this for their kids now too, with their anxiety and with issues like ADHD, even autism? I believe, from what I know from my niece, that these types of products can help. I don't know specifics, but I'm sure that's a big venue. That's a big, a push for people out there who are trying alternative to medication.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jill. I think, you know, as a parent, I'm always happy to have those conversations with people. When we're talking about kids, though, I don't think that it gets more personal than that. So I do always recommend that they speak with their pediatrician. But I make the same recommendations that I would, and I'll say, okay, if this was my kiddo, this is what I would do, right? I'm always going to avoid the THC, and then we're going to find a product that your kiddo will take without complaint. And we're going to, same thing, we're going to start small and we're going to work up, and we're going to keep our pediatrician informed every step of the way to see if we can help. And we have definitely seen some successes there. Sometimes people will come to me, especially with questions about their kids, and they'll say, hey, will this help? And sometimes my answer is, I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's not something that I've heard a ton of feedback on, I've got some different resources I can point them to, but I'm not always going to have the answers. And if I don't, I'm going to be honest about that. But I'm happy to be part of that journey and to walk alongside them if they want to give it a go.
Wow, perfect. And we still have 4 minutes left on the show. Don't want to cut any time from you. So let's talk more about your products and how you can help our listeners. Let's remind them how they can reach out to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We always love to chat with people. So you've been so gracious about mentioning the website, but that's an easy way to get information all the time. And that is just greenwellnesslife.com. Again, our website is greenwellnesslife.com. We do have a chat option. Once you go into the product section, we've got a learn area where we've got just tons of blogs and information. Again, if you're that person that you want to do some digging and figure it out on your own, we've also got a link to all of those COAs so that you know that we have lab reports on every product that we carry. If you'd like
Interesting.
to chat with us, please do so. We've got a chat button. You can do that online when we are available in the store. Otherwise, shoot us an email. Our email is support@greenwellnesslife.com. Again, that email is support@greenwellnesslife.com. Don't forget the life. And check us out. Turns out Green Wellness is a fairly common name, which I wouldn't have thought when I set it up in the great state of
Yeah,
Michigan.
right?
So don't forget the life, because otherwise you'll end up in a different place entirely. But we do monitor email even over the weekend. And if it's an urgent question, we try to get right back with you, but always within just a day or two to make sure that we are very responsive to people.
Awesome.
We've
I
also,
hear the phones ringing as well. And by the
I
way, you're
know,
located in Michigan, right?
we are West Michigan, just outside of Grand Rapids.
Perfect. And I know one thing you wrote was trust your gut, stick with it. There will be ups and downs, but stay the course. And speaking of gut, gut health, huge issue for so many people. I suffer from
Yep.
IBS. So many people suffer from my digestion issues. I heard
Yep.
CBD is really coming to the forefront with this type of digestion issue. Could I ask you, what would you recommend for someone with IBS, with stomach pain, gas, bloating?
Yeah, I've seen the best results with keeping it as close as you can to that plant in the ground. And one of those more minor cannabinoids, we call them because they don't occur in as great a quantity, is called CBDA. It's just raw CBD that occurs before the plant's ever heated or filtered. That is what I have seen the most success with when we're talking about gut health. We like it quite a lot. And you'll know pretty quickly if it's not a good fit for you, because I often have people ask me, well, how do I know if I've taken too much or if it's not the right thing for me? And gut issues can be that answer. So if it's not a good fit for you and you're seeing some digestive issues after starting CBD, then that would mean we would need to look at a different product.
Got it. All
But
right.
yeah,
This is
CBDA.
exciting. All right. Good to know. Thank you so much. And also, if you want to reach out, again, don't forget the free shipping, and it's greenwellnesslife.com. And on social media, where do we find you?
Oh, yeah, we are on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to laugh at me, we just set up a TikTok account, which
Oh,
I am
cool.
incredibly uncomfortable with, and I'm trying.
I know. I haven't used it yet. I think my kids use it, but I was like, I know, but it's cool. I got to get into the habit of it, because that's like the way of the world. It used to be
Yep. Yep.
Twitter, then it was Facebook, and so now I'm like considered old because I like Facebook still, and now Instagram is getting old too. So TikTok is
I
the way.
know.
Oh, and then soon you'll be Snapchatting. My niece is 10 and 12, and they're doing that now. So
My son just got approved, so mom approval. So he's a freshman now, so I told him he could set up Snapchat. So this is whole new world stuff, but I do need to set it up so that I can watch him.
all right, good. Well, so nice to meet you. Thank you for enlightening us, and for again and teaching me, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners the same thing. So best of luck. Enjoy your day. Go back to work, and thank you again. Looking forward to the next time we get to speak.
Oh, I appreciate you, Jill. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Same here. I appreciate you and our listeners too. Stay tuned. More of the show is on the way, guys.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.